shout out to TenXTensports for all they doing in the community. Founder of VWBA basketball, also head coach of Team Rush 17s.
Alright, so where you from? Where you from, Vic?
I'm from Wyandotte over in Kansas City, Kansas. And, went to Wyandotte High School.
Y'all won a state championship at 98?
Won the state championship in 98. Had a great team, had a really, really good coaching staff. And, we had a lot of fun that year, man. We had a community got behind us, and we was able to continue to win some games, and coaching staff pushed us to the state championship.
You said y'all had a community got behind y'all. Yeah. Who was that?
Oh, the whole Wyandotte community.
Y'all didn't ride for y'all.
yeah, of course, man. I mean, Wyandotte's it's a pillar for basketball. I'm really excited about trying to get that tradition back around the Wyandotte community. But when I was growing up, I mean, that's where all the best players was.
Now, I don't know I'm a Missouri guy, man. Hold on now.
Right.
Hey, but yeah, bands are crazy over there. Did you play any instruments or anything?
I wasn't talented enough to do that.
Yeah.
But our bands are crazy. Our bands. I mean, continued. They definitely continued that over there, and even when I was coming up, I mean, you can always be sure that at a football game or a basketball game, whether it was Sligo, Wyandotte, Washington, Sumner, Harmon, I mean, the band was going to be rocking for sure.
Oh, man, them bands rock. I love it over there,
right.
Man. All right, so being from the dot, what's a good place to eat over in the dot?
Oh, man, being from the dot, I'm going to always go, for me, it's, Mad Jack's chicken. I mean, I say chicken. Mad Jack's fish. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
Go Chicken Go is my go spot, but
okay.
You
eat the gizzards?
Gotta have them. Also, Italian Delight. It's the Italian's good piece of spot we used to always go to. So, off the top of my head, that'll be those three that I was saying.
This is a spot called Wilson's Pizza over there, right?
Wilson's Pizza, yeah. Wilson's Pizza, that's another one. That's another one.
Yeah,
that's another one. That's really good.
I haven't been. My partner told me about it, but if I go to Wilson's Pizza, what I gotta get?
If you go to Wilson's Pizza, man, I'm an all meat guy. So, just throw all the meats on there. That's what I need. I just gotta have all the meats.
No veggies.
No veggies. I'm just an all meat guy. Whatever meat you got, throw it on there.
I bet. Being from the dot, I know y'all had a lot of good players. What was the best player you seen growing up over there, man?
The best player I've ever. I mean, that's tough. I mean, I've Andre Davis, called him Jabbo. He was my all-time favorite. He taught me a lot.
He's a guard, or what was he?
Point guard. I mean, he was a small guard, but could jump out the gym. Ultra competitive. Mm-hmm. He was one of those guys that really pushed me to become good. Earl Watson was another one that I thought, I looked up to just because he did so many other things. He played in the league for years, coached in the league.
Yeah.
But,
y'all had some battles too.
Yeah. We had some battles. Me and Washington, or Wyandotte and Washington had some battles. Yeah. Earl was, he was one of those, he was one of the guards that, he can score it, assist it, rebound it. Just always one of those guys that when he was on whatever team he was on, the team just instantly got better. You know what I mean? So, and so he was another guy I looked up to real. He was a year above me.
But dude, he did it all. In high school, he was doing it all.
Man. Oh yeah. His senior year, he played center. It was crazy. His senior year, he played center. But he was just, like I said, he was one of those guys that, you really had to know the game of basketball to really understand his impact. Yeah. Because he impacted more than just scoring. He just did a good job in all the facets of the game. I've always had a passion for teaching. I was a point guard my whole life, and anybody that played with me, as a kid, at college, even now if you're on the court, I just have a real enthusiasm for for speaking up, talking, teaching. And I remember when I was in college. Coach Sutton had always told me, like, whenever you get done playing, whenever that is, you got a great knack for becoming a coach one day. And so
I seen that in you.
Yeah, he seen it in me as at an early age, and he just felt like that'd be something that I might want to get into. And of course, through playing, you always want to try to maximize your ability in playing. And when that door kind of shut, I just kind of remember what he told me, and my mom kind of started forcing me into not forcing me, but thought it'd be a good idea for me to get out and start working with different type of kids, and really starting to make my impact that way. And so I got into coaching, man. It was it was a great decision for me. I was able to create so many relationships with kids, parents, other coaches, and was able to impact a lot of lives that way, man. So it's probably definitely one of the best decisions I ever made.
Yeah. So how long you been doing it now?
Man, I've been doing. I got into training in 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think
years?
I think I started about in 2005. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's been a while, man. I'm enjoying it, man, for sure.
So you're learning, like, your expertise, like, where'd you? I know you played. You played high school ball. You played college ball.
Right.
So where did you get your knowledge from to go out and actually train somebody?
I've always tried to keep it simple, man. I think basketball is a simple sport. I think people have to allow it to be simple. And I think with teaching the game, you still have to allow it to be simple. And what I've always done, I think the game comes down to being able to compete, defend, dribble, pass, and shoot. And at the same time you're doing all those things, you have to be able to understand the skill set and the art of keeping your body between the defender and the ball. So it's really that simple.
Super simple.
It's real simple. So I just try to always, no matter what I'm teaching or who I'm teaching, what level of basketball I'm teaching, I just try to teach those concepts. And I've had success by just keeping the game simple, man. And that's what I try.
I know a lot of guys. You may see some guys out here. They probably just play 2K all day,
right.
High school ball or even grade school ball.
Right.
They out here training. Like, what sets you apart from being, good at what you do and you having success? Like, what sets you apart from other trainers?
I think with me it's more of accountability. I think anybody can go out there and look at a video or read a book or look at enough basketball and kind of understand the logistics and the concepts of what they're supposed to be teaching per se. But for me, man, I have a strong accountability for each kid that walk in my gym. I attack the mind. I really believe, not only I believe, but I know that the mind controls the body. If you can get anybody outside their comfort zone, you can teach them whatever you want to teach them. Yeah. Inside their comfort zone, nothing grows. And I think that's the most impactful thing from VWBA that I think we do is that we attack the mindset. Like how can I get you outside of your comfort zone? How can I get you outside? How can I get you to believe something that you never believed before? And then we work towards that and teaching them logistics and footwork and skill set on top of that. And what I tell people all the time is, you're never going to be able to understand a workout with me until you actually go through a workout with me. And that's the way I want to keep it. I mean, I don't want somebody to be able to tell you, okay, this is a workout with Vic. I want you to be able to, it's something that you have to feel. And once you feel it, I think it's something that becomes something that you want to do all the time. Yeah. You become comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's kind of something that I really strive for with my kids, and I get them outside of their comfort zone, and I just think that's from my standpoint what sets me apart.
Okay. So when you see a kid, can you tell if a kid is gonna be good or not, or?
Not necessarily when I see. I mean, of course, there's going to be different talent levels.
Right.
You see a 6'5" kid, he running through the lane jumping, and then you see another 6'5" kid, and he can't jump over a pair of some newspaper. But so you kind of measure it that way.
Yeah.
But again, I really believe like the mind controls the body, man. I believe that if you can get a kid to believe and understand adversity, and learning how to be able to deal with good days, bad days, good game, bad game. good workout, bad workout, and adjust and be able to move on and be able to learn to push himself, I think that you're gonna get the best quality out of that particular kid. And that's kind of where I'm at. I've had kids to where somebody will write them off. Say, there's no way that kid's gonna be able to, but for me that's the challenge in it.
Right.
To be able to find a kid that doesn't, somebody per se doesn't believe in, and you push him to greater heights, man. That's what it's all about.
So okay, so if I have a kid and I want them to play basketball, what should they look for in the trainer?
I think the thing that you have to look for in a trainer is enthusiasm. I think enthusiasm is key. I think if you walk into the gym and there's no enthusiasm, there's no spirit, there's no explanation to what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense to you? If there's no explanation into what they're doing,
instead of somebody just yelling, but never tell them, hey, this is
exactly, or
these are the steps,
or give you the ball and say we're going to do this drill, right? But have no understanding why we're doing what we're doing. And I tell my players all the time, is like you're going to learn to understand basketball here, but you're going to get better by taking what you learn from here and take it and applying it to your own workouts away from me. Mm-hmm. And the only way that I can get you to do that is to make you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Right. So it's not just a drill. You're doing a drill because. You're doing this drill because.
Exactly. This is why we're doing it. This is why we're going 2 dribbles to the middle pull up. This is why the footwork is this way. Mm-hmm. This is why, we wrong leg layup on this side of the basket. You have to explain, especially with early development, they have to understand. Because a lot of kids, what they would do is they'll say, okay, I'm going to work out with such and such. Mm-hmm. But working out with such and such is a small part if they don't understand what they're doing when they're working out with that certain person.
Right.
So they just in there. So they don't do anything from coming in the gym to leaving the gym. It's kind of the same person that came in is the same person that left.
So in a sense, a kid can kind of identify their strengths and weaknesses. Like
exactly.
When they done with you, they identify each.
They identify, right, exactly. And but more importantly, I want them to understand. Okay, I just spent the hour with Vic, right? I knew exactly the reason why we were doing each drill, and now when I go spend 3 hours on my own, I can understand how and why I'm doing those drills because Vic has overly explained himself and made me understand this is what I need to be doing, and this is why this applies to the game. And I think that's a lost art with a lot of people that train, is that they have a vision, right? So they say, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, which is okay, but are you allowing that person to understand why they're doing what they're doing? So now they can take your vision that you've created inside the gym to the gym with them when they go on their own. And that's where the biggest impact happens. You work out 2-3 times a week with a trainer or once a week with a trainer. That's not going to take you to another level. Right. What will take you to another level is the fact that trainer, that person has done enough explaining to where it becomes mental and you know exactly what you're doing so you can apply it to your own workouts when you go home.
You just had a great crop of kids go through your program, and they're in multiple colleges, D1s, and doing all types of stuff like that. Tell me about a time where one of your kids or some of them surprised you, like they came in looking a certain way and then left out, and you just like, man, I'm amazed at this kid.
You know that happens all the time, man. I mean, for me, man, I'm motivated by vision, man. I mean, that's what motivates me. I mean, even as a kid, my mom, made me visualize things. What's going to happen to you 4 or 5 years from now, where you're going to be. And I'm the same thing with my kids. It's crazy because I'm the same exact way. And each kid I can have a story for that. I mean, like it's crazy because each kid, I went through that development part. I went through that time to where nobody knew about them. And their confidence was low and things wasn't going according to plan.
Right.
And I always preach it's not about right now. You know what I mean? And so to see all those guys go to college and the kids before them. I mean I've had a lot of kids even before this group has came out. I mean, just to see those kids go off it's so gratifying for myself is just because I've seen the time where the light was dim. And so man, it's no better feeling, man. I mean, I'm telling people all the time when people ask me about what I do, I say it's no better feeling to go from one point to see one kid that has a lot of low self-esteem, and doesn't really understand his strengths and understand his ability and have this belief in his ability, and you able to create that vision for them, and to see them go on and make their parents proud. It's no better feeling, man. It's unbelievable.
So I see you. Obviously, you love the sport. You train all day,
right,
day in, day out. When you get home, do you even turn on basketball or watch basketball?
Man, basketball is created everything positive in my life, man. Like really, from my kids to my wife. I met my wife because she's very successful, and the only reason why I was able to become successful was because I went to college, and basketball took me there.
Right.
So again, basketball is a very is something that I live by, man. I live by it. It's something that I think God's blessed me to be able to communicate it to kids and teach life lessons through basketball. So there's never been a time where I've got tired of basketball, man. It's something that it's just who I am.
It's tired. You paying your bills through basketball.
Yeah. And then it's just who I am, man. It's just something that I think I'm very, very passionate about. I grew up in the inner city, and it gave me a light, man. It gave me something. Like I said, I tell people all the time, I grew up in the middle of two crack houses. You know what I mean? And the crack houses was up, and I would always look at those guys because they would ride by my house and they had the best cars and the best houses. And I was like motivated by those guys. I said, man, that's what I want to be one day.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to have that. I wanted to have that for my family. And but you would go out a week later and it'd be boarded up. And it'd be tow trucks there to pick up the cars. And then as I got older, I started to realize the reason why these houses is going up and going down is because these guys are taking the easy road.
Right.
They're selling drugs. They're doing all these things, and their success only going to happen just for a small point. And so, my high school coach, and I met a guy named David Hayden, who started to mentor me. He started to show me things that bad places and things where basketball can take me. And so basketball, man. To answer your question, it was something that paved the way for my life, man.
Yeah. You seem not to take the elevator, you take the stairs, man.
No doubt.
Get to where you need to go.
No doubt.
What's up and coming for you?
Man, I want to, I really want to become, more innovative, man. I want to become more visual. I want to get out there and really start to touch different parts of the city. I've had my impact on the city, man. I really feel like God's blessed me to be able to touch a lot of kids, and I feel like there's so much more for me to do. In various different ways, as far as tournaments, whatever I can do to touch more kids' life on the girls' side and also on the boys' side, different cities, and so I want to really start to take the brand, man, and really start to really enlighten and make people aware of the gift that God gave me, for sure.
Cool. Where can people get in contact with you?
You can get in contact with me at VWBAbasketball.com. So anything that you need to learn about, or you're looking for workouts, you're looking for whatever I'm doing, you definitely can log on there and find me there.
All right. Last thing, what's most fulfilling about what you do?
I'm gonna tell you this, man. The most fulfilling thing about it is to watch your kids grow up. Really, to watch players that you've helped develop as fourth graders, third graders grow up to be family, man, and you still, the respect from them to you is so high, you still see the little boy in them. You know what I mean? And that's what fulfills me. I could be around some of my kids, they 23, 24 years old, but I think because I've pushed them, because I've challenged them, because I've put them in situations that allowed them to be successful, that they still have a respect for them, to have that little boy feeling, so it's like, man, that's still Coach Vic, what I mean? It's just like, man, we sitting at a bar having a drink together, but that's still Coach Vic,
right.
And so, but it's the most fulfilling thing, and I tell people all the time, man, you can, from the time I started in 2005 to now, I take pride that each and every last guy or girl that ever came through me, will all have the same story. And that Vic cared outside of basketball, and he pushed me as hard as he can every single time I was around him. And I think they all had that same story. So with that said, that's the best feeling that I can ever have, to know that they all got the same story, and that they all believed in me, and they all know that it's bigger than basketball.
Cool. You completed 10 questions with 10 by 10 Sports, man. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate your time.
Hey, I appreciate it. That was tough, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.